Hello everyone. In this series of videos, we will be discussing the fall of the Qing dynasty and how its various systems influenced Chinese history. Now, let's start by looking at a timeline first. 230 BC, Qing conquered Han State. 228 BC, Qing conquers Zhao State. And 225 BC, Qing conquers Wei. And 223 BC, Qing conquers Chu State. Next year, Qing conquers Yan. And then next year, Qing conquers Qi State. And Yin Zheng proclaims himself as first emperor of China. In 210 BC, Emperor Qin Shi Huang, Yin Zheng, passes away, and his son Hu Hai becomes the second emperor. In 209 BC, the uprising led by Chen Sheng and Wu Guang begins. 207 BC, the Qing dynasty abolishes the imperial title and reverts to King of Qing. 206 BC, the Qing state falls. This outcome was probably beyond Qin Shi Huang Yin Zheng's wildest nightmares. In fact, after proclaiming himself as emperor, Yin Zheng was incredibly confident in his empire's longevity. This confidence is evident in his first imperial decree, where he abolished the posthumous naming system. In fact, we have talked about this posthumous naming system in previous videos. Traditionally, rulers they can't choose their own posthumous titles. They were decided by others after their deaths, according to the historian's record. Yin Zheng saw this as unacceptable, like sons judging fathers and ministers judging kings. Posthumous titles also served to distinguish different generations of rulers in a dynasty. For example, in the Zhou dynasty, after King Wen came King Wu, then King Cheng, and so on. So without these titles, how would future emperors be differentiated? Qin Shi Huang's solution was to call himself the first emperor, with successors numbered sequentially, like second emperor, third emperor, and so on. Ideally continuing for like 10,000 generations. However, the Qing dynasty only lasted until the second emperor before collapsing. Just 2 years into the second emperor's reign, Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, who are two peasants at that time, led a rebellion. Their uprising quickly gained massive support across the land of China at that time, spreading like wildfire. And 2 years later, the Qing chancellor Zhao Gao assassinated the second emperor and installed a prince, Ziyin, as the new ruler of Qing state, who abolished the imperial title and called himself the king of Qing state, no longer called emperor. In other words, after just 14 years of glory, the mighty Qing Empire was reduced back to a merely kingdom. More tragically, even this downgraded Qing kingdom didn't last. Shortly after, King Ziyin surrendered to Liu Bang, also comes from a peasant family. About a month later, Xiang Yu a descendant of the Chu nobility, led a coalition army into the Qing capital, and looting chariots, abducting women, burning palaces, and massacring nobles and officials in Xianyang, where it is the capital of the Qing state. He even killed the already surrendered King Ziying, effectively wiping out the Qing royal lineage. Xiang Yu then divided the land and proclaimed himself the hegemon king, establishing his capital in Pengcheng. Pengcheng is now in Xuzhou City of Jiangsu province in China. This part of history known as Western Chu. The former Qing territory was split into 3 regions and granted to 3 surrendered Qing generals, collectively known as the 3 Qings. It took 7 generations of Qing rulers and over 100 years to conquer the other 6 states. But the empire they built crumbled in less than 15 years. What's more puzzling is that while well-trained armies led by renowned generals from 6 states couldn't defeat Qing state, but now a group of rebel peasants and destitute nobles managed to overthrow the Qing regime shortly after unification. So, what was the secret behind this? To understand this, we need to delve into Qing's culture and the system that arose from it. Confucianism was born in the state of Lu, and Moism in Song, and Taoism in Chu state. So what about Qing state? The ancestors of the Qing state originated from the remote and underdeveloped border regions of the Zhou dynasty, which leaving them culturally blank. This void was filled by legalism. Legalism, we have discussed a lot in the previous videos. It wasn't tied to any particular region. They served whoever paid the most. For example, Li Kui served as chancellor for Wei, Shen Buhai for Han state, and Wu Qi for Chu, and Shangyang to Qing. Among the pre-Qing philosophical schools, legalism was quite unique. Confucians, Moists, and Taoists were all idealists and traditionalists, yearning for the golden ages of the past, Taoists for ancient times, and Moists for the era of Emperor Great Yu, and Confucians for the Western Zhou period, like King Wen. In contrast, legalists were pragmatists and utilitarists, focusing on confronting reality and planning for the future. Taoists spoke of the way of heaven, Moists of the way of the emperor, Confucians of the way of the king, and legalists of the way of the hegemon. The people of Qing state were originally known for their rugged and straightforward character. Even during the Warring States period, their art forms were simple, like beating clay pots and singing loudly, without a sweet tone. The enduring Qing opera, compared to styles like Beijing opera or Kunqu opera was markedly different, reflecting that Qing people weren't softened by the more refined Chinese culture. This lack of refinement meant they could be more easily trained as efficient production tools and lethal weapons. Interestingly, Qing's lack of homegrown talent became an advantage. They could recruit talent from all over the states, widely accepting outsiders, relying heavily on guests, ministers, further weakened the nobility, local nobility, and strengthened the king's power. This provided the perfect stage for legalists to shine and implement their grand visions. Their ace card was absolute monarchical power, achieved through generous rewards and harsh punishments. Under great rewards, brave men emerged. Under severe pressure, compliment citizens are formed. Strict adherence to legalist principles and gradually transformed Qing into a massive farm and a military camp, creating a highly efficient farming and warfare system. The entire nation moved in unison, disciplined and abundant, ready to strike like a ferocious beast at the king's command. This farming and warfare system proved incredibly effective and unstoppable in a competitive multi-state environment. Qing's ability to conquer the 6 states and unify China was largely due to this legalist-inspired system. But what happens to such a system in times of peace? I encourage everyone to think deeply and independently about this question. That's all for today's video, and please, if you like this video, please like, follow, share, and comment. See you in the following videos. Thanks for watching.